The first is this the right decision for Minnesota?
Yeah, I believe it is. Look, I think the quarterback room makeup is critical to J.J. McCarthy's development. You need someone who's not threatening him, especially if, okay, all this is contingent upon his rehab being on track. Clearly it is. Clearly they feel as though he's going to be ready to go once September rolls around. Now, back to the makeup as far as the quarterback room is concerned. J.J. McCarthy at this point in time needs all the support that he can get. He needs a backup quarterback who's going to be sitting there trying to help him become a pro, not trying to help supplant him and get him out of the starting lineup. I think he doesn't need to feel threatened right now. He needs to feel supported, and that's what Kevin O'Connell obviously understands, having been a quarterback himself. That's what Josh McCown, the quarterback coach, understands, having been a quarterback himself. He needs to feel supported. They obviously have the confidence in him, and he deserves to have that confidence kind of bestowed upon him.
I understand the thinking, and I probably agree with it. Harry, if I was going to play devil's advocate, this is the way I would do it. I think that's a Super Bowl team. And you are now giving the ball to a guy who is essentially a rookie. I understand that he was there. I understand that you probably learned things from being there. So that's probably not the right way of putting it. But he has not yet taken an NFL snap that counted, and you are putting the ball in his hands. If you're a receiver on that team, if you're Justin Jefferson, you feel good about that?
100%. Because we also have to look at the cachet of J.J. McCarthy. 27-1 as a starter. Who was the coach that he played for at the University of Michigan?
Jim Harbaugh?
Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Who took a team last year in his first year to the playoffs and was coach of the year his first year with San Francisco, and he made a Super Bowl before losing to his brother. So he's played for a guy, number one, that was drafted at that position. He was coached up by that same person. They won a national championship together. But supporting cast is everything. And we talked about Kevin O'Connell with Sam Darnold. Why can't we talk about Kevin O'Connell when it comes to J.J. McCarthy? And the supporting cast, that defense that was fantastic last year, and they did a lot of blitzing, well, that's why you go get a Jonathan Allen on that defensive line. That's why you go get a Javon Hargrave, so you can be that much more better, and you might not have to blitz as much as you did in the past. And look at Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hockenson, Aaron Jones. You got more guys on your offensive line.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying. That is a Super Bowl team at every position on the field. And now you're giving the ball to a quarterback with no experience.
To your point, Greeny, you can have all the confidence in the world in Kevin O'Connell and Jim Harbaugh, how he's prepared J.J. McCarthy. But there's still a question mark at that quarterback position. Yes, Sam Darnold did get in there and do a good job. But if you are Justin Jefferson, if you are those guys on the defensive side of the ball, you are still having the back of your mind of, I wonder what J.J.'s going to look like when he gets out there and he's a part of this offense. Now, that doesn't mean that Aaron Rodgers was going to be the solution to the problem that they have. But not only is J.J. McCarthy going to be under center for the first time in a regular season game, but he's also coming off of a major surgery that usually takes some time to come back from to gain the confidence. So I do think there are question marks if you're a Vikings player around, hey, what exactly are we getting in this rookie quarterback, essentially in his second year? Because you saw what you liked early on, but now you got to wait and see this year.
Look, I understand in theory exactly what you're saying, but I think, look, there's two things. One, the medical department is one of the most important departments in a football organization. You have to trust that, hey, look, his rehab is going fine. There's not going to be any long-term effects. We are reasonably projecting that this guy is going to be available to us. So let's just kind of like move that out of the way. Remember, when they drafted Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City in 2017, they drafted him 10th overall. Who did they ship out? And they had a strong team at that time. They shipped out Alex Smith, right?
Yeah, after a
year,
he played
one regular season game, a meaningless regular season game. I think it was a week 17 game. But they knew early on when they got him there, had his first rookie minicamp, this guy is the future. Yeah. A lot of the same things are being I'm not equating J.J. McCarthy to Patrick Mahomes, but I'm saying early on, no one believed Patrick would be what he has become either. They have a lot of confidence in this young man. They have talked about the fact that he's done everything right since he's been there. In the brief moment that he did play in the preseason against the Las Vegas Raiders, do you remember how he looked after he got rid of some of the jitters? He was slinging that thing.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a preseason game and whatever. I think there is another. So look at the words that are on our screen. Not actively considering Aaron Rodgers as quarterback addition. I think there's two pieces to this.
The actively part?
Well, no. I think there's the one of them is the confidence they have in J.J. McCarthy. Yeah. The other is I think there are a lot of teams in the NFL that will have this perspective. I don't want that. Like, there's so much that comes with Aaron that has nothing to do with playing football. That's right. I don't want that. Like, and that goes back to a conversation we had earlier this morning about his legacy and all the rest of that. Because the great ones tend to go out. They usually don't go out on top, right? They don't usually get carried off on the shoulders. They get old and they wind up aging out, and you tend to forget about that. The last few years with Rodgers, for better or for worse, and we've been a part of it, I guess, on this show heavily, have been so high profile, so oft discussed, that I think it has become sort of a larger-than-life off-the-field situation.
There's the key. For all the wrong reasons, it's become larger than life. And you sit and you wonder, like right now, how is he viewing this? Like, if he's thinking about this right now, is he really aware of how people are viewing him? And does he care at this point in time? See, that's the interesting part to me. Does he care that right now, maybe, let's just project that maybe the Vikings are saying we're not actively pursuing you because we don't think you're a good fit for what we're looking for? Like, that's a hell of a thing to tell someone who's a 4-time MVP and a first ballot Hall of Famer. A lot of times, for most people, that would make them kind of like self-assess and go, hey, maybe I have a blind spot about myself, about how I perceive myself relative to how other people are perceiving me. That's why I have said, when you just kind of wrap this whole thing up, he needs Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh needs him. He needs to go somewhere where they just say, hey, look, just play the game. Forget all the other stuff. Just play the damn game at a high level like you're capable of. We'll handle the rest of the stuff. Okay? Just do that. And they need to level up. And he can help them do that. It just seems to me like maybe he's not looking at it that way. Well, which begs the question, how is he looking at this now?
And I think situation matters, because for the Minnesota Vikings, you're not looking maybe to bring an Aaron Rodgers in because you have a J.J. McCarthy. But you look at the other two teams in this situation, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New York Giants, you'll take all of that right now, because what are your other options? We haven't seen the Steelers bring in other quarterbacks on free agent visits. So for them, getting a guy like Aaron Rodgers, to your point, Lewis, they don't have to worry about him running the entire organization. You have veterans on that team, and they're not going to be enamored with Aaron Rodgers. When he first got to the Jets, when you saw Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson and Quentin Williams, all of these young guys who had watched him for so long, and it's just like, my goodness, Aaron Rodgers is in the building. For Cam Hayward, it's like, we've been playing against this guy, T.J. Watt. Like, he is very normal to us. We'll take him, but we're not enamored or amused by who he is.
Yeah, the Jets viewed him as the guy who was going to take them over the top. I don't think people view him that way anymore. There's one thing that's been said about Aaron Rodgers in this conversation that I totally disagree with, and we will have to come back to that a little bit later in the hour.
Chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn làm vòng. Vòng hôm nay của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là tương ớt. Mọi người, hôm nay vòng của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là tương cà. Bây giờ mình bắt đầu làm nhé. Đầu tiên là mình sẽ màu hồng. Mọi người, đây là màu hồng nha. Đây là ba màu của mình nha. Đây là ba màu nha.